Now, there is evidence in public of a video by Mr. Perera's driver who said that he had told Mr. Singh, as well as other MPs, including Ms. Sylvia Lim and Associate Professor James Lim, about the indiscretions Mr. Perera was engaging in, including going to hotels, going to restaurants, and so on. Now, could Mr. Singh please tell this House why nothing was done at the material time? That's the first clarification. The second clarification is, were any steps taken to protect the identity of the driver as the informant?
First one, I think can I ask the member in return, has he perused the entire press conference that was given by the Workers' Party on this matter, where the question was answered?
I have listened to the press conference, but I have not heard any explanation as to why the driver was not called up for an interview after those details were given. Nor was there anything in the press conference that addressed the issue of whether steps were taken to protect the driver's identity as informant.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Firstly, the invitation to ask the question about any matter involving what had happened in the Workers' Party between Mr. Perera and Ms. Nicole Seah was put to the Prime Minister, but I'll answer the question that the member has put forward. We made an assessment of the circumstances in which the driver came forward with the information. There was certain information that I had received after the fact that he had secured the phone numbers of many Workers' Party members and circulated this allegation to many members, significant number of members across the board. I approached Mr. Perera with the information that was given to me by the driver. I had explained in my press conference what was said by Mr. Perera to me, and our assessment at the time was this was what had transpired. But if the member had listened to the press conference carefully, and I don't think he did, other facts came to bear, such as corroboratory evidence. I think a Stomp article suggested that this video was the video that came out on the same day that the Prime Minister was announcing the resignation of the Speaker and Cheng Li Hui. Stomp reported that the video had been going around since 2021. I can confirm, because I asked the CEC the question, my CEC, had anybody seen the video? Nobody had seen the video. Maybe the member had seen the video. Perhaps he can tell me if he had. What had transpired in terms of what was shared, there was no corroboratory information for us to work with, and there was no other source. Now, if either of these two criteria came into play, then I think something different would have happened. We would have had to look into the matter more carefully beyond what Mr. Perera had shared with us. In terms of protecting the identity of the source, I didn't reveal the identity of the source, but I had to check with Mr. Perera, this is the information I've received. Can you confirm?
Okay, I can confirm that I did not see the video before it was well all over the public domain, but I have a few further clarifications. Don't you think that if you receive credible evidence from someone who is close to an indiscretion, I mean, a whistleblower, this is how issues normally come up, that you should actually take efforts to interview the person, to get more information? Was that done? The second is this. Now, you mentioned that you did not tell Mr. Perera, or you did not reveal the source of information. How did you tell Mr. Perera you came to know about his indiscretions? Did you say the driver told you?
Mr. Speaker, I don't recall exactly the whole circumstances of my conversations with Mr. Perera, which happened some time ago now. But on the first point, can you just repeat the first point? You had a first question.
The first question was, if you receive information from a credible source who is close to the wrongdoing, that something has happened, normally in a proper organization, that would be treated as a whistleblower report. Steps would be taken to protect that person. That person would be called up for further interviews. Was this driver called up for a further interview?
As I mentioned in my first reply, we had to deal with the information that was shared by the driver. We made an assessment of the total circumstances with which the information was provided to us. And as we found out after the fact, of course, this person was a former police officer, more than, I think, 10 years experience. I think this was in the papers. I would have expected somebody close to Mr. Perera, very close to Mr. Perera, to have corroboratory evidence at hand. I would have expected that, especially him being a driver.
I think Mr. Singh has not answered my question, which was, did he call him up for an interview? Was it conveyed to him he needed to collate further corroborative evidence?
Easy answer. The answer is no.